Good day to our lecturer and to fellow classmates. So we are from Group 5, Sparklistic, and we will present about our movie analysis of the movie Big Hero 6 and to relate with the chapter 3 of Interpersonal Communication and Perception. And my name is Yasmin and my matrix number is 197719.
I am Nur Shafinaz Pamira binti Johari and my matric number is 197736.
My name is Hasyimah binti Muhammad Hasni. My matrix number is 198617.
My name is Arwenraj. My matrix number is 197075.
My name is Siti Sarah binti Muhammad Ridwan and my matric number is 196725.
Okay, so for our presentation, we have the introduction, synopsis, character analysis, and also the critical view. So for the introduction and the brief synopsis of the movie is that the movie setting is in San Francisco, which is an urban city and also a high-tech metropolis, which specifically developed in robotic field. Also, Baymax, the main character, the side character is the living proof of the robotic innovation that has been made. So for the chapter itself, the introduction to the chapter is perception is our thoughts towards other people and our surrounding. Meanwhile, for impression, it is the thoughts of other people and surrounding toward us. And both perception and impression will occur simultaneously. And also for the synopsis of the movie is that Tadashi, Hiro's brother, encouraged him to involve in science educationally rather than him being involved in illegal robot fights with his intelligence. And then for the movie itself, it is Baymax. The main highlights of the movie is the Baymax, the robotic innovation that Tadashi made is becoming Hero's company after he lost his brother in an accident, and then the hero becomes friends with his brother's friend, and that triggers the innovation, the building of or the development of the Big Hero 6, which is it consists of 6 people as a hero to fight villains in the movie. So I'll pass to Shima for the movie analysis.
Thank you, Yasmin. Okay. To relate the chapter 3 to the movie, the subtopic that I choose is identifying barrier to accurate interpersonal perception for the point stereotyping. Stereotyping can be seen in the scene when people laugh when hero showed up his bot. They obviously stereotype it is as weak because it does not look convincing enough to be powerful, in contrast to Yama's bot, which is look strong and sturdy, so it is considered as powerful. So from this, we can see that because of the stereotype, they already have a perception that hero is weak and he is not going to win. So that's why they laugh. And because of the stereotype, there is a barrier to people around the match about fighting to accurately do an accurate interpersonal perception. Next slide. So solution to this stereotyping is we people should stop stereotyping, in which we should correct what is wrong in the norm of the society and make it a habit for something that is correct. And we should start to do active perception. Although we cannot control our thought and perception, we can try slowly to do perception. To do active perception, we control. We only think only positive things. So next slide. So in conclusion, in my opinion, after I relate this movie and this chapter, I learned that we should not underestimate others, no matter how bad the perception towards them, because what we thought it is may actually not what it is, as we can see from the scene about fighting. And secondly, this chapter also helped me to look at things from different perspective. I learned that from that simple scene, we can actually, from that simple scene, actually a big thing that is happening related to interpersonal communication that can influence our life. So that's all from me. Thank you.
So I will continue. Other than that, so what can we analyze from the movie of Big Hero 6? Also the forming impressions of other, where we can see from hero perspective, hero generalize positive and negative qualities into different person. So the person involved are Mr. Robert and Mr. Craig. So the generalization positive and negative qualities in the others is related to the two effects, which are halo effect and horn effect. So halo effect occurs when a person allows the positive qualities added to his perception towards someone without having justifications of these qualities. While horn effect occurs when a person allows negative assumption on others because of unflattering perception. So as like the first meeting with Mr. Robert Callahan, Hero finds Mr. Robert a character that seems supportive and friendly to Hero. Without knowing, actually Robert Callahan is an antagonist character at the end of the movie. And horn effect occurred to Mr. Craig because Mr. Craig, the first meeting with Hero, Mr. Craig offered Hero to sell his microbots right after the robotic show has ended, where we can see Hero face expression that he actually got offended with the offer. So the halo effect that tend to occur towards Mr. Robert Callahan increase the tendency to trust Mr. Robert more than Mr. Craig during the scene where right after Mr. Robert spoke out his opinion to Hero that Hero should not be selling his microbots to Mr. Craig. Hero agreed and refused to accept the offer from Mr. Craig. Next slide. And the critical view that we can perceive from the regarding issue is our impression is interpreted based on what we see and not knowing the actual behavior of one. And the solution would be we should be careful on interpreting perception of others, either he seems good or bad to us.
Okay, so I'll be continuing with my review of the movie Big Hero 6. So the point that I would like to review about is for focus on the negativity of the role. Okay, for an example, in this role, there's certain parts where the main character Hero as well has taken few steps of negativity, but I'll talk the main thing which happened, which was Hero took revenge for his brother's death. And it's the same time not only Hero and also the Hero's brother, which is Tadashi's group of friends, who everyone, including Baymax itself, took revenge to identify who the real culprit is and who murdered the brother. So I think that is one of the negativity, because the revenge into them has made them to take all the chaotic that happened, for an example, they had big blast, they had formation of their costumes and everything. So for the solution, I would definitely think that revenge is not really good. You lose what you lose. You can merely hold on the memories and souvenirs. In the particular case, robots, death is real, even though we are fighting using the robots and everything, but death is real. That Tadashi is gone and is departed, so you can't do anything more on that already. So next. Okay, so the critical view is the impulse consistency, where we always tend to think that if today a person behaves like that and the next day they will be the same thing. It's like human beings have different emotions every single day, so we can't be predicting if today the person is good and they have very jolly type of mood, and tomorrow they have the same type of mood. No, it doesn't happen actually like that. So each and every time their mood changes, and they don't really have a consistency of things in their life. So I think that's all for me, so I'll pass to the next one.
So for the next, this scene that I choose is also under the identifying barriers to accurate interpersonal perception, which is avoiding responsibility. For the scene that I choose is that the incident involving Callahan's daughter, the antagonist, because Mr. Prey decided to ignore the rules to get things done faster, and this has resulted in his own company having a record of releasing its product too soon. For this one, the antagonist was actually mad with the Mr. Prey because yeah, he not only did not take responsibility, but instead he just shut down the experiment out from people knowledge, and that has caused much casualty, which is losing the one of the people in those experiments. So from that one, the solution that we can use is that we should take responsibility of the action and also solve the consequences occur because of the action. Which from the scene we see that Mr. Callahan comprehended and wanted to destroy the Mr. Prey invention because of what he did from the past. So from this one, the next slide, please. So from my critical view is that avoiding responsibility, which is the people are more likely to see face by believing that they are not the cause of the problem, which can be seen from Mr. Prey doing that he actually trying to defend himself, saying that he did not do that, he did not cause the incident, but when it's actually that his order that have caused the incident. So that's all from me.
Okay, so I will continue for the last part, which is for my part of analysis, is that the ignore information part, one of the barrier in interpersonal perception, which hero denies Robert Cullen is involved in Tadashi's death, as Shafinaz mentioned earlier. It is because hero's first perception on Mr. Robert is that he is a nice person, based on his personality, and then he accused Alistar instead, as he discovered some facts when they had the meetings in Fred House. They discussed about that, and they assume it is Alistar who did involved in Tadashi's death, and Hiro believes that Robert has kind of helpful values, as earlier I mentioned, and for Hiro, he desperately wants to seek closure on his brother's death because he wants to know who caused it, and he needs to find closure. And then the solution from that issue is that we need to become other oriented. This is because it is as self-reminder in which world does not revolve around you. So we need to be other oriented because we need to have empathy. For one thing is we need to have empathy, in which we need to respond emotionally to one's feeling, as in the Robert's situation. He is just very desperate and revengeful because he lost his only daughter in Alistar's pilot test experiment. And then the last but not least, from being order-oriented, is that we have to social decentering, in which we should be conscious of others' thoughts and feelings. In a way, we need to actually think before we talk. And then the next one is the critical view from the movie. From some values that I learned is that it is crucial to involve in communication to help understand oneself and give better perception of people. And also we need to check our own perception, which could be done indirectly, passive, by observing and all, and also indirectly, in which we could, or directly, in which we can engage with people and ask for their opinion.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Hidayah and I will be the last presenter. So, for my point, I will explain the character analysis which I take from Big Hero 6 movie, and it is about implicit personality theory, which is it means we make personal assumptions on people and we develop categories. In this movie, it is a situation where Brad brings his friends to his mansion. All of his friends are shocked, knowing that he is actually rich despite his outgoing and funny behavior. Me myself, when watching the movie, thought that Fred is just a decent man with weird obsession of monsters and heroes characters since he wore a monster costume when Hero first came to the lab. Only then I saw all the stuff inside his mansion and I just realized it could just be his hobby, and I assume he is the only child in his family and he mostly spent most of his childhood playing with all the stuff. So in this situation, for the solution, it is okay not knowing that Fred comes from a rich family since he could purposely not telling them anything related to his family. For the critical view is, we should understand the situation. What I mean by that is that assumptions are good sometimes, but not everything should be assumed. Some other things should be directly asked to avoid serious misunderstanding. Based on the movie, we have seen a lot of assumptions between the characters. For example, the truth behind Fred's wealth, and in reality, it is just polite to not just ask about people wealthy, and it is the right situation to just assume it. But there are some issues that is better to be asked and to be asked directly to avoid misunderstanding that could lead to any argument. For example, such as issue regarding religions and cultures. That's all from us. Thank you.